Hello and a warm welcome to South Asia Today, where we bring you in-depth insights into the key events shaping South Asia. I'm Shivangi Mishra, and here are today's top stories. Indian women embrace style emotion through jewelry. ICC warrant against Taliban leaders marks global action on gender persecution in Afghanistan. And Nepal's southern plains go dry mid-monsoon, raising alarm among farmers. Let's begin the show with India, where the trend of fashion jewelry is soaring as fashion effortlessly meets affordability. From grand weddings to vibrant festivals, these elegant pieces offer style and versatility without the hefty price tag. This growing demand has opened exciting opportunities for both local artisans and global brands to craft dazzling designs that resonate with India's celebration rich, style savvy culture.
In India, every family celebration comes alive with traditional attire and sparkling jewelry. Today, it's not gold or diamonds stealing the spotlight, but vibrant artificial jewelry now the heartbeat of festive fashion, especially for women who love to shine in style without overspending. Meet New Delhi-based makeup artists Shivani and Tarun, the dynamic duo behind Star Academy, who are redefining beauty with their holistic approach to transformation. Beyond flawless bridal and event-ready makeup, they expertly curate jewelry styling tailored to complement each outfit and reflect every client's unique personality, ensuring a look that's nothing short of spectacular.
अगर बात रही हमारी ज्वेलरी की तो ज्वेलरी आज के टाइम पे इतना बूम कर रहा है। बाहर के जितने भी फॉरेनर्स हैं या बाहर के लोग हैं वो इंडियन ज्वेलरी को पहनना ज़्यादा पसंद करते हैं, क्योंकि ज्वेलरी सिर्फ कहने के लिए ज्वेलरी असल में वो एक बीइंग अ गर्ल या लड़कियों के लिए वो एक इमोशन है। क्योंकि चाहे अगर हम बात करें इयररिंग्स की या बिंदी की, और जब हम एक छोटी सी बिंदी भी माथे पे लगाते हैं तो हमारा पूरा लुक इनहेंस होके आ जाता है।
आई ट्रूली अग्री एंड स्ट्रांगली अग्री टू दिस पॉइंट कि ज्वेलरी पूरा गेम चेंजर है। आई फील लाइक मतलब इन्होंने ज्वेलरी जो दी मेरे आउटफिट के हिसाब से, मैंने काफ़ी जगह ढूंढी थी। मुझे एक होता है ना कि एक आँखों को ऐसे हो जाए कि यार दिस इज़ द परफेक्ट वन फॉर माई बिग डे, बट लाइक इन्होंने सब कुछ लाइक एवरीथिंग सब कुछ फाइंड आउट करा, एंड ज्वेलरी जो भी इसके हिसाब से बेस्ट सूटिंग थी, they gave me that. I am very happy with the result.
With the soaring popularity of artificial jewelry across India, the Indian Fashion Jewelry and Accessories Show 2025 lit up the stage for the country's dynamic and fast-growing fashion jewelry industry. Featuring over 100 exhibitors from across India, the event dazzled with exquisite collections of imitation, fashion, and semi-precious jewelry paired with trend-setting accessories. It beautifully captured India's evolving sense of style, where elegance meets affordability and tradition blends seamlessly with modern flair. More than just a showcase, the expo opened global doors for Indian jewelry and fashion accessory brands, turning creativity into opportunity on the international stage.
The fashion trends are mostly like we have a lot of materials which are supposed to be summer based, like we are a lot in seashells, and we are a lot in we also do a lot of beading works, we also do bone, horn, wood, which is supposed to be strength. The natural materials have always been the strength of India. So I think in future this is going to get very good, and a lot of countries are supporting made in India products, which is supposed to be handcrafted. They love the beauty of the handcrafted products, and people really like the idea of buying from India.
The Indian costume jewelry market is projected to grow by $904 million, registering a steady growth rate of 10.02% through 2028. Driven by affordability, the surge of fast fashion, and India's rich legacy of jewelry craftsmanship, the market is poised for exponential growth.
Yes, so artificial jewelry I think can be used in many ways because it's often lighter than, for instance, semi-precious stones. You can do so much more with it. You can embellish it on clothing. You can. It's often less expensive, so you can have charms, bag charms, hair accessories.
I think not just today, for many centuries, for us women, jewelry has been a way of us to express ourselves. कि हम कुछ भी जब भी हम ज्वेलरी पहनते हैं कुछ ना कुछ कई बार इमोशनल होता है कुछ चीज़ें कभी कभार होता है कि हमें सुंदर लगता है तो आई थिंक टुडे ऑल्सो इट्स ऑन द पीक आई थिंक एंड इट विल बी इंक्रीजिंग विद टाइम ओनली कि नाउ वी सी एवरी वन हैज़ अ वे ऑफ एक्सप्रेसिंग देमसेल्व्स एंड ज्वेलरी प्लेज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट.
As models dazzle down the ramp, artificial jewelry shines as a bold expression of style and culture. Fusing timeless tradition with bold innovation, India's fashion jewelry is not just turning heads, it's winning hearts around the world.
Moving on. In a major development, the International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for 2 senior Taliban leaders, accusing them of crimes against humanity in connection with the systematic persecution of women and girls in Afghanistan. The ICC's decision marks the first time gender-based oppression in the country has been formally recognized as grounds for international legal action. The move is being seen as a critical step in holding the Taliban accountable for policies that have effectively erased women from Afghan public life. Since returning to power in August 2021, the Taliban have imposed one of the harshest regimes for women in the modern era. Afghan women have been systematically stripped of their rights. Amid this grim reality, the International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for 2 senior Taliban leaders, Hebatullah Akhundzada, the group's supreme leader, and Abdul Hakim Haqqani, Chief Justice of the Taliban's de facto regime. The court noted that there are reasonable grounds to believe the 2 leaders ordered and enforced policies that deprived Afghan women and girls of basic human rights, including access to education, employment, public life, freedom of movement and expression. The arrest warrants relate to actions carried out between the Taliban's return to power in August 2021 and January 2025, when the ICC's chief prosecutor officially filed the case.
I think very important. For the first time, ICC is taking a position on gender issue, and this should be appreciated. Particularly considering the fact that in Afghanistan, a lot of gender-related issues are now coming up. Women are being marginalized. They are not being allowed to go to schools after class 6. They are not allowed to go to public. You know, a woman in Afghanistan cannot go out on her own. She has to be accompanied with a male member. So these kind of a thing which was going on in Afghanistan, and many of us were very critical about it. I am glad that ICC has finally taken a note of it and issued a very strict, a warning against these people.
Since their return to power, the Taliban have issued more than 80 edicts curbing women's rights. These include bans on secondary and higher education for girls, prohibition on women working in most sectors, and restrictions on their presence in public places such as parks, gyms, and sports clubs. Female journalists have been silenced, and laws that once offered protection from violence, forced marriage, and abuse have been suspended. For many Afghan women, daily life has become a struggle for basic existence under a government that refuses to recognize their identity. A 2024 Afghanistan Gender Index released by UN Women and supported by the EU revealed that nearly 80% of young Afghan women are not in education, employment, or training. The report further highlighted that no women currently serve in any formal decision-making positions under the Taliban's de facto administration.
Afghan women are marginalized to an extent possible by the Taliban. They have a very different kind of understanding about women. They are not allowing even the girls to be in school. Forget about the colleges and universities. They are not allowed to be a part of any jobs. Earlier and before Taliban, the women of Afghanistan were doing well. There's no one who is in the cabinet. There is no voices of the women right now in Afghanistan. And moreover, the way they are implementing all those rules, it's becoming impossible.
In June 2025, a United Nations report accused the Taliban of turning Afghanistan's justice system into a tool of oppression. It cited the suspension of laws that once protected women from violence, including rape and forced marriage.
The international community remains.
International agencies and humanitarian organizations have also raised concerns over threats received by female UN staff members and the obstruction of women-led NGOs and aid missions. Amnesty International has urged the global community to classify the Taliban's actions as gender apartheid and recognize such systems as violations of international law.
Now ICC has given a verdict, and this will help other international organizations to formulate their policy response against Taliban on this issue. So I'm very glad, very happy that ICC came up with this thing, and it will certainly going to strengthen international organization to be more stringent and strict towards Taliban in order to deal with the gender issue.
The Taliban's top leadership, including Akhundzada and Haqqani, are now facing international legal scrutiny for their roles in institutionalizing gender oppression. The ICC's action is being viewed as a test of the international community's willingness to respond meaningfully to prolonged and systematic human rights violations in Afghanistan. Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
Elated parents of Indian astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla, who returned from International Space Station along with 3 other astronauts on July 15th, said they were grateful for the blessings of the people. The crew, including NASA retiree turned private astronaut Peggy Whitson, joined by crewmates from India, Poland, and Hungary, splashed down safely in the Pacific July 15. Shukla's jubilant and overwhelmed parents in India's Lucknow city were seen celebrating after his son's safe return to Earth. The SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule carrying the 4-member team parachuted into calm seas off the Southern California coast at around 2:30 a.m. following a fiery re-entry through Earth's atmosphere that capped a 22-hour descent from orbit. The return flight concluded the 4th ISS mission organized by Texas-based startup Axiom Space in collaboration with SpaceX, the private rocket venture of billionaire Elon Musk, headquartered near Los Angeles. Israeli protesters gathered outside the Tel Aviv Expo Convention Center as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu attended an event on local governance this week. Calling for an end to the war in Gaza and the premiership of Netanyahu, the protesters also displayed placards in support of the Israeli Attorney General Gali Beherav Miara. Netanyahu's government has 4 months been seeking the dismissal of Beherav Miara. The Attorney General, appointed by the previous government, has spared with Netanyahu's cabinet over the legality of some of its policies. Israelis have become increasingly wary of the war in Gaza, which began with a surprise attack by Hamas on October 7, 2023 that led to Israel's single deadliest day with 1,200 killed and 251 taken hostage by the Palestinian militants. Nissan Motor will stop producing vehicles at its Opama plant in Japan by March 2028 and transfer operations to its factory in the southern prefecture of Fukuoka as part of a global restructuring plan to cut capacity. Nissan's CEO Ivan Espinosa announced sweeping plans aimed at turning around the embattled automaker, including slashing global production capacity to 2.5 million vehicles from 3.5 million and manufacturing sites to 10 from 17. Espinosa said Nissan was exploring various options for repurposing the assets in negotiations with multiple partners, declining to elaborate, citing confidentiality agreements. When the Opama factory opened in 1961, it was one of Japan's first large-scale auto factories and a symbol of Nissan's and Japan's global ambitions. Long referred to as Nissan's mother factory, it employs 3,900 workers and has produced more than 17.8 million vehicles to date.
In Nepal's Madhesh province, the monsoon has betrayed its promise. Hand pumps and fields have gone dry, forcing the provincial government to deploy fire engines and the army to supply water. 8 districts are now officially drought affected, with Parsa hit the hardest. Paddy cultivation has dropped to just 36%. Farmers like Brij Yadav in Janakpur fear for survival as climate extremes threaten Nepal's grain basket and livelihoods alike. We have a report. Hand pumps, fields, and other sources of water have gone dry in the Madhesh province of Nepal, prompting the provincial government to mobilize fire engines and other vehicles to deliver water to affected communities. The months from June to September, often the monsoon window in the Himalayan nation, are not the same for the southern plains of Nepal, the grain basket this year with the absence of rain. The provincial government has now declared 8 districts as drought-affected areas following the absence of rain.
जो आठों जिला है ये एकदम पूरा सूखाग्रस्त एरिया है। अभी जो है सो बारिश होनी थी, बारिश नहीं हो पा रही है। इसके कारण से अभी जो है सो होल मध्य प्रदेश में आठों डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जो खेती का रोपाई है वो आज के डेट तक 36% हुआ है, जो कि यही समय में इसी दरमियान में आज के डेट तक जो है सो लगभग 70-80% तक खेती का रोपाई हो जाता था।
Among the 8 districts in Madhesh province, Parsa is the worst hit, with life out of gear and people struggling to meet their daily water demand. The provincial fire engines, each with a capacity of 5,000 litres, are being operated in coordination with the Nepal Army, which has been temporarily assigned responsibility for their operation. Madhesh's GDP shared 13.13% of the country's GDP out of 5.381 trillion Nepali rupees. In Madhesh province, farm products share 35.2% of the gross domestic output. Food crops, vegetables, fruits and spices are among the main products of this province. But the dry and arid monsoon this year has increased worries for the farmers, who now have even started to worry about their coming days.
केना का हम सब जीवे, केना का धिया पुता जीते, केना का रोपते खेत पथार, समस्या भारी भ गेल।
किसानी होगा कि नहीं कोई ठिकाने नहीं है, लेकिन पानी जो अभी हम लोग पीते हैं वो पानी पीने का समस्या हो गया है। इस अवस्था में गैलन में पानी बोकते हैं और दूसरे जगह से पानी लाते हैं और तब पानी पीते हैं, वो भी पानी नहीं पहुंचता है।
As the Himalayan nation is bracing for above average rainfall this year, the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority has predicted that around 2 million people from 457,145 households could be affected by monsoon-related disasters. In a groundbreaking development, India's Jammu and Kashmir is witnessing remarkable changes, particularly in the remote hilly areas of Rajouri. Block Buddhal in the Kotranka subdivision is benefiting from centrally sponsored schemes that are reshaping the landscape. With the implementation of programs like the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, the region's infrastructure has improved significantly, unlocking new employment opportunities and providing essential services. Take a look.
In recent years, Jammu and Kashmir has witnessed substantial improvements in infrastructure and public services, especially in its remote and hilly areas. With central government schemes targeting rural development, local communities are experiencing better access to roads, healthcare, and employment opportunities. The focus on collaboration between authorities and residents is driving these positive changes. All of this work is being carried out according to a comprehensive plan, including improvements in rural development, roads, water, and electricity.
जल शक्ति के बहुत बड़े प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, हर महल्ले में जो है स्कूल है, आंगनवाड़ी सेंटर्स हैं, तो नेचुरली एक पहले मुश्किल वक्त देखा हुआ है, लेकिन आज बहुत सारी आसानियां भी हैं। आसानियों में सरकार की मेहरबानी है और लोगों का जो है वो तावन है। लोगों ने भी बहुत ज़्यादा तावन किया है सारे तरक्याती कामों में। तो ये एक 2 टायर सिस्टम है, गवर्नमेंट प्लस पब्लिक, तो दोनों मिलजुल के जो है वो काम कर रहे हैं और लोगों को आइंदा भी बहुत सारी जो है सहूलियत मिल गई है और आने वाले ज़माने में भी बहुत सारे प्लानिंग है सरकार की, जिससे और ज़्यादा सहूलियत जो है वो बढ़ाई जाएगी और लोगों को सिटी या टाउन की जैसी फैसिलिटीज़ जो है वो गाँव में भी मुहैया कराई जा रही है।
Block Budhal in Rajouri, one of the most remote areas of the district, has seen remarkable progress in recent years. The rollout of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana has finally broken decades of isolation, bringing crucial road connectivity to this one inaccessible region. With improved infrastructure, the local communities now have access to vital services and opportunities. The transformation is undeniable, and the positive changes are already making a real difference in people's lives.
यहाँ से वो पंजाब में जाते थे, दिल्ली बम्बा में जाते थे, श्रीनगर में जाते थे। आज तो उससे बेहतर काम यहाँ है। जो दिहाड़ी वहाँ से मिलती थी, आज घर में उससे बेहतर है। तो आराम का पैसा भी हर गरीब आदमी आसानी से टाइम निकाल रहा है। तो शुक्रिया गवर्नमेंट का।
पहले से अब यहाँ काफ़ी अच्छे हालात हैं। पहले हम ये रास्ता जो अभी इससे हम उतरे हैं, यहाँ ऐसे डंडा लेके उतरना पड़ता था। तो आज सरकार ने यहाँ हमारे लिए पक्की पौड़ियाँ बनाई हुई हैं। देख सकते हैं आप यहाँ पे कितना अच्छा रास्ता बना हुआ है। और भी बहुत सारी मुश्किलात थी। यहाँ से नीचे हमारे यहाँ नाला आता है, वहाँ पे उसके बीच में से बच्चे स्कूल जाते थे कि एक दिन तक इस बरसात के मौसम में वो स्कूल नहीं जा पाते थे। तो वहाँ पे भी इनने कलवट डाले हैं, अच्छी पुलियाँ शुलियाँ बनाई हुई हैं। तो बड़ा अच्छा है। अब सरकार का जो काम है बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है।
Under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, residents are replacing their fragile traditional homes with strong water-resistant houses, many of which are already complete. Alongside this, key infrastructure has been developed, including small roads, tractor tracks, and secure walkways that make daily life easier. The safeguarding of water resources, combined with the development of ponds and tanks, is significantly enhancing agricultural productivity and improving the livelihoods of local farmers.
नरेगा में लोगों के आपने देखा है, हमने गलियां बनाई, छोटे छोटे रास्ते लोगों को दिए, ट्रैक्टर रोडें निकाल के महल्ले तक ले गए ताकि लोगों से खेती बाड़ी में आसानी हो जाए। और पानी के काम करवाए, डेवलपमेंट करवाए, स्प्रिंग कवर बनवाए, वाटर टैंक बनवाए हुए हैं और पॉन्ड्स बनवाए हुए हैं। बाकी ज़मीन में जो बंजर एरिया होता है उसमें डेवलपमेंट करवाते हैं, लैंड बनवाते हैं ताकि वहाँ पर लोग अपना फसल उगा सकें। और हमारे इसमें ब्लॉक शाहपुर में छोटे छोटे हमने कलवट बनाए हुए हैं जहाँ पर हमें ज़रूरत थी, और 2 बड़े पुल भी बनवाए हैं नरेगा से ही। स्टील ब्रिज हैं वो भी नरेगा से करवाए। दो नालों में बहुत ज़रूरत थी जब ये रोड यहाँ लिंक नहीं थी। आज तो कोटरंका से शाहपुर PMGSY के तहत रोड बनाई गई है, तो उससे आसानी होगी लोगों को काम करने में।
The central government initiative are driving transformative changes across Jammu and Kashmir. With programs such as Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, and Manrega, a significant progress is being made in the infrastructure development and employment generation. In education, the establishment of new schools and the integration of digital classrooms are enhancing access to quality learning, while healthcare improvements, including the upgrading of hospitals and clinics, are expanding medical services. These comprehensive efforts are fostering long-term development and ensuring a prosperous future for the region.
As we wrap up today's episode of South Asia Today, we thank you for joining us. We'll return next week at the same time with more insights and updates. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of our entire team. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.